Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It is I, CR Daredevil, bringing you another week in our AEW series here in TEW2020. It is the go home show for Revolution 2020 here in AEW, and we've got ourselves a hell of a show at Revolution so far, including that main event of Jay Lethal versus Pac for the AEW World Championship. We also have Cody Rhodes' Open Challenge. We have Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho. We have Tennille Dashwood versus Priscilla Kelly. The tag team titles are on the line as the Dark Order's Player Uno and Stu Grayson defend against the Young Bucks. The Women's World Championship is on the line as the Dark Order's The Bunny defends against Alexis Kaufman. As well as we also have Brian Cage and Kenny Omega going one-on-one. And we also have that six-man tag match. The Dynasty, MJF, Richard Holiday, and Wardlow taking on Shane Strickland and the Jurassic Express. So we'll have to see how that plays out. We'll have to see if any other matches get added to the show or anything like that. But we are going to dive into the action as we normally do with our quote-unquote dark show, where we have a pre-show about this show's they spoiled Bratz, defeating Leva Bates and Shotzi Blackheart in 6:43 when Aria Blake pinned Shotzi with a Blake out. 43 rating for the match, not bad. Blake had a 31 rating and she's the one that went over, so that's kind of a little weird. But 38 from Selena, 41 from Shotzi, and 43 from Leva Bates. So, starting to get some pretty good in-ring performances from them. We're starting to kind of slowly build up our lower part, not necessarily lower, but the not in storyline part of our women's division here in AEW. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. After that, 51 rating for Sammy Guevara, defeating Darby Allin in 8:42 by pinfall with a 630 senton. 49 from Guevara, 44 from Allin. Haven't really seen a lot from Sammy Guevara recently, other than whenever Jericho seems to need help. But he has a pretty good match here on Dark with Darby Allin. So we'll have to see. Maybe if he ends up getting a decent little push or something like that. I mean, 49 in ring performance is pretty decent, so we'll have to see about that. After that, Amazing Kong comes out and kind of not squashes Kylie Ray, but it's a little bit more one-sided than most would have expected. 52 rating here as Kong gets the victory in 7:56 by pinfall to Amazing Bomb. 53 from Kong, 41 from Kylie Ray. She tried her best, but she could not defeat the monster that is Amazing Kong, who will be at ringside for that Tennille Dashwood versus Priscilla Kelly matchup this Sunday. But we'll have to see how that ends up playing out. And then the main event of Dark sees Andrew Everett defeat Scorpio Sky 9:29 by pinfall to Shooting Star Press. 48 rating for the match, 50 from Everett, 39 from Sky. Two people who aren't figured into plans right now. Everett and Trevor Lee obviously still have their tag team. They may be getting into, they might try to get themselves back into tag title contention or just, some feud with some team. Whereas Scorpio Sky's kind of just hanging out, trying to do what he can do kind of thing. But yeah, not too bad of a little a dark show there. We get into the main portion of Dynamite. 2,629 people in attendance. I still have to figure that out. I still don't know why it projects us to have. I still don't know why we have 500 less people than what it projects us every single week, but whatever. I'll look into it. But we start off our opening segment of Dynamite has Jay Lethal in the ring. And he says that he has been a world champion in many places in the past, including ROH. He's been an ROH world champion. He says that it is simply his calling, if you will, his path in life, if you will, to be the AEW World Champion, to be a World Champion once again, to have that prized possession around your waist, to be at the top of the mountain once again. And he says that he doesn't care if Pac is some sort of good guy. He doesn't care if he's got his friends around him. He's going to go into Revolution. He's going to rip that World Championship away from Pac. And he's going to be the world champion that you all deserve to have. And the crowd's booing him because, of course, he's a heel. But yeah, nice little 71 rated promo here. Gain T for the storyline. Got the crowd hot. Good show up to a strong start. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. The commentators do reveal that he's actually, it was kind of funny that he mentioned his PAX friends, because tonight, in the main event of Dynamite, it is actually going to be Jay Lethal going one-on-one with one member of the Death Triangle in Rey Fenix. So that should be a interesting matchup. It's a first-time match in this alternate AEW universe. So we'll have to see how that ends up playing out. But 71 rating here, really good stuff. Really good way to start off Dynamite. Then we have a tag team action. That son of a bitch. We have an interesting tag team match here. It was announced by Tony Khan on social media that because of the weird issues between El Generico and Marty Martinez recently, he was gonna make a tag match to start off Dynamite here tonight, with each member, with Marty Martinez and El Generico, getting to go out and pick their partner. So El Generico picks Jigsaw, another masked, unknown person, whatever. So that's with Marty Martinez's weird fixation on masked people recently, it probably causes him even more issues. Whereas Martinez, he doesn't really have any friends in AEW, but apparently the Dark Order was willing to loan out their assassin, the Blade, to team up with him. And in a tag match that goes 10 minutes, 43 seconds, the Blade and Marty Martinez defeat El Generico and Jigsaw when the Blade pinned Jigsaw with a flatliner. Generico and Martinez not figured into the finish, so it kind of keeps their story going. 54 rating, which is not too bad of a match, honestly. But I said son of a bitch at the start of this because El Generico has sustained a broken finger, so I'm going to have to hope that that's not too serious of an injury. I didn't plan for Generico and Martinez to be added to the Revolution card, but I did plan for them to continue to have some stuff in the next few weeks or so. So if Generico's out for an extended amount of time, that's going to be a little more difficult. But the match is 54. It's not too bad. It's not too bad of a match there. Martinez with a 46, which is better in-ring performance than I thought he was getting recently, which is kind of interesting. Blade with 56, Jigsaw with 40, Generico with 63. Honestly, this match, like the way, obviously this tag match in storyline kind of makes sense. But honestly, this, for me, when I was booking this was, how do I get El Generico to look good in a match, not actually take a pinfall, and keep the story going between him and Marty? And at the same time, how do I get the Blade to continue his dominant streak that he's been, where he's just been going out and just beating people? And so, kind of worked this time. And who knows, maybe Marty's somebody that the Dark Order might look at in the future. But 54 rating here as the Blade keeps up his run. El Generico doesn't get pinned. So we have issues between Martinez and Generico, and Generico suffers a broken finger, so we'll have to see how long he's out for, which hopefully is not that long. Thank you, Samoa Joe, who apparently is a road agent for a lot of stuff here tonight. Then, after that, we have a interesting 45 rated segment here. I'll see for the storyline, not a big deal. Where Alexis Kaufman was kind of talking about this Sunday at Revolution, talking about how she's going to have to deal with the money, how, her and Chris Statlander lost that tag match last week on Dynamite, but she's not worried. She's still got confidence in being able to go in and win the championship at Revolution. And Chris Statlander approaches her backstage and says, I gotta apologize. I cost us the win last week. I gotta apologize for that. But listen, I know that the Bunny's gonna have Rosemary watching her back at Revolution. I want to go out there and watch yours. I know that we didn't get the job done last week, but I still want to be out there to watch your back and make sure that Rosemary doesn't get involved. And Kaufman's like, well, I appreciate your help last week, but I don't understand why do you want to come out and help me? And she's like, Stats just like, I feel bad. I feel bad. I dropped the ball last week. I want to prove that I can, that I can still do it. And Kaufman's like, you know what? Okay. So there you go. This Sunday at Revolution, it will be the Bunny versus Alexa Kaufman for the Women's World Championship. Rosemary will be in the corner of the Bunny, and Chris Statlander will be in the corner of Alexis Kaufman. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Then, quick little 43 rated segment where Tommy End is just kind of backstage in that dark area like he normally is. And all he really says, that I will give you verbatim what he says because it's not a long promo. He says, Cody, you want a challenge, your challenge is accepted. That's it. So there you go. Tommy End is accepting the open challenge. So at Revolution, it will be Tommy End and Cody Rhodes one-on-one, which should be a very, very interesting matchup there. 57 rating for this matchup as Mercedes defeats Ashley Vox in 802 by pinfall to Wheelbarrow Bulldog. 57 rating for the match. 62 from Mercedes, 42 from Ashley Vox. Got the crowd hotter. Mercedes continuing this whole storyline of wanting to beat everyone in the women's division. So she picked out another young talent here in the women on the AEW roster and defeated her in 8 minutes, proving that she is the boss of the women's division here in AEW. Afterwards, she gets on the mic and says, "That's another one down. Another one that has been defeated at the hands of the boss of AEW, Mercedes." She said that she is simply the best woman in this division, that she's going to go through every single one of them so that when she claims the AEW Women's World Championship for herself, then there will be nobody left to challenge her because she will have defeated them all. And this is when she gets interrupted by Kairi Hojo, who comes out. Kairi, of course, not speaking the greatest English, but she does kind of speak somewhat broken English, and says, "You can claim to be the best, but you can't be the best until you beat me." So Kairi just kind of done with the games of like, is Mercedes coming after 3 Elite or not? She's just kind of done with the games about it. She wants to face Mercedes. Not in the plans for Revolution at the moment, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what ends up happening between these two. See if they end up having their match in the near future. 43 rating. Did not do as well as I was hoping. I don't know what happened here. Huh. Maybe it was just the length of the match. We didn't get the coin flip, so to speak, for Brian Cage looking dominant in this. But essentially that's what this was. Brian Cage just went out and squashed Tony Deppen in 431 by pinfall the discus lariat. 43 rating for the match, 70 from Cage, 39 from Deppen. But yeah, like I said, this was basically just Cage tossing Deppen around for 4.5 minutes. Deppen tried to fight back a little bit, but he really didn't have much of anything offense-wise. And it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to bury Deppen, but he was just a guy who I could use in this role at that moment. So Cage gets a dominant victory ahead of his match with Kenny Omega this Sunday. Afterwards, he decides, after the match is won, he decides to set up Deppen for another Weapon X before Kenny Omega comes running down to chase him off and stares him down as hype for the match at Revolution. 45 rating here. Well, see, well, that's fine. We'll make it up. And after that, boy, oh boy, this was a match. This was a match. 43 rating here as Dr. Britt Baker defeats Martina in 8:30 by submission with a lockjaw after interference from Adam Cole. 38 from Britt, who was really off her game, which sucks. 39 from Martina. I wanted to make sure, I wanted these two to fight. I want to make sure Martina still looked decent because I didn't really want to bury her. She's going to be someone who I'm going to have as a little bit of a project here in AEW. But I had to put Britt Baker over because, of course, she's kind of the bigger star right now. Despite the fact that her in-ring performance is not quite there. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how I keep doing things with her heading forward. But she gets the victory here with the lockjaw. Afterwards, she is celebrating until Kaylee Ray comes running down. Britt goes running through the crowd, and Kaylee Ray immediately just goes chasing after her. Doesn't even stop to check on Martina or anything like that. She just goes immediately chasing after her because, of course, Kaylee Ray wanting to get revenge for Baker costing her the Women's World Championship a few weeks ago on Dynamite. 46 rating here. Advances that storyline there, so we'll have to see if we end up getting these two in the ring at some point in the near future. Then after that, match that was announced last week, kind of a preview match for this Sunday, the 6-man tag match. Poor matchup, apparently, even though it got a 53 rating. We saw MJF defeat Jungle Boy in 10:34 by submission with Saul the Earth after interference from Wardlow. 49 from MJF, 48 from Jungle Boy. This wasn't necessarily, I wasn't trying to get this to be interference from Wardlow. I was trying to get this to be like MJF using kind of underhanded tactics, kind of rolling him up with the or kind of cheating somehow, but I guess this works too. So MJF gets momentum for the Dynasty heading into this Sunday with a victory over Jungle Boy. Pretty back and forth match, honestly. 48 from Jungle Boy, 49 from MJF, so pretty decent match there, but there you go. Again, gained heat for the storyline, so I can't go wrong with that. But MJF getting momentum for the Dynasty heading into this Sunday. And after that, lost heat. Oof. That's kind of hurts a little bit, but to be expected because Paige is just not quite at that level yet. We get quote-unquote story time with Adam Page. We're not getting story time with Adam Cole this time. We're getting story time with Adam Page. As he's being interviewed by Andrea Ocampo there. In fact, Andrea kind of is like, hey, we know at some point you're going to be facing Cole, and that's when Paige is kind of like, no, it's time for story time with Adam Page. And Paige says that Cole's been ducking him. He wants to face him in the ring, but Cole's been ducking him, and you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Adam Cole's going to do what Adam Cole's going to do, and everybody out there should be expecting it. All of his fans should be expecting it the way he is, because he is disrespectful like that. That's what he does. So he says, whenever Adam Cole decides to get his, whenever he decides to find his guts, whenever he decides to actually stand up and be a man, Hangman Adam Page will be waiting to put him down with the 3 count there. Therefore, a 3 count. 33 rating, not a great promo. But I didn't want to keep making this like a one-sided promo thing. I got to build up Page's promo somehow, even though this probably wasn't the best way to do it. I probably should put like Cole and Page in some sort of promo against each other, but hey, we gotta give them somewhere. And after that, nice little preview for the tag title match this Sunday. Sees Nick Jackson defeat Evil Uno in 12-17 by pinfall to super kick. 56 rating for the match, 64 from Jackson, 39 from Evil Uno. I don't know what the heck happened to his in-ring performance here. Normally he's at least like near 50, so I don't know what the hell happened to him. It didn't even say he dropped. It didn't say he's got penalized for inconsistency. It didn't even say like he was off his game or anything like that. So I don't know what the heck happened there, but nevertheless, Nick Jackson getting momentum for the Young Bucks heading into this Sunday when they do the rematch for the tag team titles, the Young Bucks and the Dark Order. 56 is not bad though. And it gained heat for the storyline, so that's always a good thing too. But there you go. Then after that, we get a quick little video package. MJF and Shane Strickland were not supposed to be on screen. That was supposed to be off screen, but whatever. I guess they were on screen for this. Got a 50 rating. Is it just kind of hypes a few of the matches at Revolution. Kind of goes over Omega and Cage. Goes over to Neil Dashwood and Priscilla Kelly, who are not on the show tonight, so I want to make sure that they kind of got like the main feature of this video package. But it does kind of talk about Cage and Omega, and it does kind of talk about MJF and Strickland as well. So, nice little video package heading into Revolution. Then, before the main event, we have a segment that gets 76 rating, despite the fact that Jon Moxley struggled when going off script, which is really weird. But we get Chris Jericho in the ring with Steven Regal. He says that he is not sure if Moxley can even be trusted to have a normal wrestling match here in AEW, because he thinks that Mox is going to go off the rails. He thinks that Mox is going to get chaotic and he's going to cause a bunch of blood and chaos and weapons and breaking everything. And he wants Regal to make sure that John understands that they have to enforce the rules, that this isn't going to be some sort of crazy false count anywhere or hardcore match or anything like that. He wants to make sure this is a by the book rules kind of match. He wants to make sure that the rules are followed correctly. And Regal goes, "What the hell are you talking about? You break the rules all the goddamn time." And the crowd pops for that. And Jericho's like, "I can't believe you just said that about me." And then out comes Moxley. Jericho gets ready to kind of run, and Regal's like, "No, you're staying here." Mox comes down and starts to go towards Jericho, and Regal steps in the way, and he's like, "You are not to touch each other until the match this Sunday." He says that this is going to be a big time matchup. A lot of people have been looking forward to this, and he doesn't want anything to happen, but he does have to, this is Regal speaking, he said he does have to agree with Jericho. He doesn't want to see this turn into a chaotic brawl of types. He wants to make sure that Mox understands that this is going to be just an actual like one-on-one contest. There's no fighting all the way through the crowd. There's none of that stuff. It's going to be contested inside the ring, and it's going to be won inside the ring. Moxley grabs a microphone and he says, listen, I know I'm known for chaos. That's pretty obvious. But I don't think you realize that I can kick his ass inside the ring too. And I will kick his ass inside the ring. And I will put Chris Jericho down. And then there will be no more like God that he claims to be. He will be defeated. And Jericho is like kind of laughing about it. He's like, well, it's good to know that Moxley's out here dreaming about stuff, thinking that he's going to win and blah, blah, blah. And Moxley starts to step up to him and Jericho immediately starts cowering away. And Regal's like, hey, no touching each other, no fighting. Moxley's like, I don't need to touch him to get into his head. I don't need to touch him to get into his mind and start messing with his head and ruin him. In fact, the way he's acting right now, I've already beat him. We just have to go through the motions this Sunday. He flips the mic out of his hand and leaves the ring. Jericho's like, I haven't been beaten. I'm going to beat you, you son of a bitch. He starts losing his mind just like Jericho would, but Moxley just kind of walking up the ramp, smirking over at him before he flips him off and then heads to the back. Jericho's losing his mind in the ring. So there you go. There's kind of the hype for that matchup this Sunday. We'll have to see how that ends up playing out. And then the main event gets a 77 rating. Holy hell. And about that good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd, Jay Lethal defeats Ray Fenix at 13-20 by pinfall to Lethal Injection. 77 rating for the match, 74 from Lethal, 64 from Fenix. Gained heat for the storyline because Pac was at ringside. He wasn't at ringside, sorry. He was at the commentary table. Kind of talking about how he knows that he hasn't really had a lot of matches over the last few weeks. However, he's been training and getting ready for this matchup. But that he's still going to be he's still a fighting champion. He's still your fighting world champion, and that he will defeat Jay Lethal at Revolution. Lethal gets the victory, though, in 13-20 here over Fenix. And then afterwards, just to kind of nail down the fact that these two are fighting at Revolution, Pac gets in the ring, kind of checking on Fenix a little bit before he stands up and kind of not necessarily gets in the face with Lethal. Like, they're not like angry with each other. He just kind of steps up to Lethal and just kind of raises the championship up in the air, and we get that last image at the end of Dynamite of the two looking at each other, looking at the championship in the air before that match for the title at Revolution. 65 rating for this. Show itself gets 71 rating. Increased our popularity in 47 regions. Holy hell. Holy hell. That was a hell of a show. Really great stuff there. The only segment I was kind of really disappointed with was the Hangman Page segment, but I knew that wasn't going to do too well anyway because his promo skills. I don't really make edits, especially when I have like on-screen saves, but I might adjust his promo skills slightly because it's not like he's not the greatest promo person in the world, but it's not like he's the worst either. Getting a 33 rating is, in TEW in 2020, I probably would have put him at about a 40 or 50 in promo performance. So right now, where he's at right now, it feels like his promo stats are a little low. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm not cutting a lot of promos with him right now. But that's still a little rough. Still a little rough in my opinion. But I mean, hey, strong show nonetheless. A lot of really good stuff there. A lot of really good stuff to see. Dynamite, the second news story of the week. Feedback has been great. Drew a lot of praise. I don't know. Black Warrior apparently retired, and so he opened up a new wrestling school. That was what was bigger than us, I guess. Ratings for the week: 449,741 people watching. 71 rating. Best rated show of the night. NXT had a 55. Saw Cassie Sono and Tommaso Ciampa defeat Ricochet and Matt Riddle in a cage match in the main event there. NXT UK had a 47. There was that. We're really just going to battle with NXT at this point, because this is obviously when NXT was still on Wednesdays. But we're catching up. That viewership is really high. We're slowly catching up there. Flip over to that really quick because I don't want to spoil a couple of things there. Okay, good. I will point that out, talk about that here in a second. But lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, trans, whatever you are out there, That was our best show. Well, technically tied for our best show in the series. So that's freaking awesome. 71 rating. Tied for our best show of all time. Tied with a Dynamite from last month, which is really good to see. Matches. Lethal and Fenix was our second best match of all time. Only behind that world title match that was on that show that tied that with Pac and Seidel. Honestly, I think that Pac and Lethal might end up being our best match in our series so far. Lethal's doing really great in-ring performance-wise. Pac is kind of right there as well. So I think that these two could end up having a hell of a barn burner for that world title at Revolution. Top attendances. We're still kind of weirdly down here in this 2,600 area. I'm still not sure what's going on with that. I'm gonna have to look into it still, but TV ratings. Our best rated show of all time, a 0.59. The best rating we've had in this series so far. 449,000 people watching. The most people we've had watching a show in this series of all time, which is awesome. Dynamite is starting to, or AEW itself is starting to catch fire and starting to do well there. We'll show this really quick as well. This is why I said that, that's awesome to see. El Generico's broken finger, he is able to work through it. It's only going to affect him for 25 days, so I probably won't put him in a whole lot of matches during that time, but at least if I want to, I could. Like, I could put him I could bury him in a tag or 6-man tag match, and it won't be too much of a bother. You also see there, I don't remember if I brought it up in an episode or not. It's been a couple weeks since I recorded this, but at some point in the last few weeks in game, Mayu Iwatani broke her breastbone. And she's going to be out she's unable to do matches, that is, for the next 39 days. It was not by us. She did that at a Stardom show, I believe it was. So she can only work angles. Screw things up a little bit, because the idea was that it was going to be her and it was going to be Mayu and Mercedes at Revolution. Kind of continuing on the idea, like Mercedes beat Io, so then she was going to face Mayu at Revolution, and then of course that was going to eventually lead to Mercedes and Kairi, but plans have to change now because she can't wrestle a match for 39 days, and I really don't want to wait that long with this storyline. I mean, I could technically make it go on that long, but that would be a long time, because you figure waiting 40 days in game before they can have that match, and then another couple weeks or so after that to build up to Mercedes and Kairi, like that could be kind of a little bit of a long storyline. So we're going to start building to Mercedes and Kairi right now, and maybe Mayu will be the third of the three lead that Mercedes faces. Maybe Mayu's got really good in-ring performance too. She doesn't quite have the popularity yet, but she has got really good in-ring performance too. So maybe she's going to be the one that is kind of the final boss of it, so to speak. We'll have to see. Nevertheless, all of that rambling and ranting aside, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate it. Hope you guys are excited for Revolution, which of course is happening. Well, in game it's set for Saturday. I'm not going to do it on Saturday though. I'm going to do it on Sunday, because now that we have, I'll post it on Sunday, because now that we have our college football series that we're doing on Saturdays now, I don't want to skip over that and put up an episode of this, and I also don't want a double video that day. So we'll probably do the college football episode this Saturday, and then we'll do the Revolution episode this Sunday, even though it'll be technically Saturday in game, but it'll work. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate all of your support for the channel. As we continue to grow, we are inching closer and closer to 300 subs on this channel, which is absolutely insane. So thank you all, and we will catch you in this series this Sunday for Revolution.